You just brought up virgins.
Yeah,
okay?
yes.
This is something that I find fascinating. This conversation about virgin brides.
Yes.
Right? One of my favorite movies of all time is The Princess Bride. And this whole concept of virginity. And look, you know, in high school and college, maybe I took one or two, right? But at this phase in my life, the last thing I'm looking for me, is a virgin, because I'm a little bit older, right? But I understand that concept. So,
would you consider yourself a traditional guy?
In many respects, yes, but maybe not in certain categories.
Are you like looking to get married the next couple years?
I'm looking to have kids and a girl for sure.
Okay, but no,
traditional marriage, as far as the government getting involved in my life, I don't know if you know, I was married.
You were married?
Yeah.
Oh my God, I had no idea.
So you go. Well, at the end, you're gonna flip it on me, have this conversation. But yeah, I do. I would say that. How about this? I've been pretty traditional, but I'm becoming more traditional, evolving, as we kind of discussed.
Okay.
Would you say you're traditional?
No.
You're not?
No, I wish I was, but no.
How so?
Well, when I think of like a traditional woman, I think of a woman that like, I don't know, I was an athlete growing up. Okay. So I was like, I spent like 4 hours a day in the gym. I don't think that's like a traditional.
All right, so you played sports. I don't think that, I mean, in modern society, a lot of girls play sports. How else are you not traditional, but you would love to be traditional?
Well, that's the main thing.
You're an athlete?
Well, I think traditional women get married before the age of 25, so.
Okay. So, but the virginity thing.
Yeah, I also think that that's part of it. Traditional women, they're virgins. They wait till they're married. They're typically like they're more raised. Like I just don't see athletes, like female athletics, as being like the epitome of traditionalism.
And you've already answered this. You said you're not a virgin, right?
God, not again.
Okay. No, I mean, it's not like breaking news.
Yeah.
You're not married. This is not breaking news. I get it. You've said you're not traditional, but you wish you were.
Yeah.
But you're also saying, hey, women, go be traditional. Yeah. You're also like, look, I'm not really traditional, but this is what I would recommend for you, right? Mm-hmm. But when it comes to virginity thing, it's actually pretty fascinating to me because I have some stats. Malik, pull that up in a second. Mm-hmm. You said the ideal marriage of two virgins is getting married and staying married for a lifetime is good. Mm-hmm. You've said that, right? Mm-hmm. Non-virgin women cause all of the world's problems.
Oh, yes.
Interesting.
Yes.
Okay. So, in the West, specifically, the concept of virgin brides, in my opinion, is so far-fetched today.
Yeah, 4%.
I think it's like 3 or 4%.
Yeah.
So, I want to pull up these stats. How can we go back in time and recreate this traditional virgin lifestyle? And like, how much does this actually weigh on your mind? That, I'm not a virgin. I wish I was. Like, I don't know. What could I have done different?
A lot more since every show I go on, they bring it up.
Right. Well, why do we bring it up, bro? Because you talk about it. It's not like I think about this. But here, before you answer, look at these stats. Look at these stats real quick. So, punch in a little bit. So, in the 19th century, all you have to do is look at the top number, okay? Right. So, in the 1970s, this is when you get married, 21% of women were virgins, okay? By 1980s, it was 17. 1990s, it's 14. 2000s, it's 12. By 2010s, specifically when social media hits the scene, it plummets down to 5%. You said now it's closer to 3%. So is this, can we put the toothpaste back in the tube, or are we doomed?
You know what's crazy? If you look up 1920, the first sexual revolution was actually in the 20s.
Yeah, women's suffrage, everything that goes along with that.
And so it was actually like 85% in the early 1900s. So think about how far that's fallen in 100 years.
No, we are in full agreement with this. We are in full agreement. I'm not, like, these are stats. This is not zero opinion.
Yeah.
But, the concept of virgin bride, are we just too far gone that it's, like, we're not... These numbers are trending that way. How do you envision it going from 3% back to 5, back to 10, back to 20?
It won't.
It just won't.
It won't, no. I don't see it going back, unfortunately.
If you can kind of put things in place to make it go back in place, what things would you put in place to influence more of that?
Chastity belts.
Well, I would say women respond very quickly to social shame. When something is socially shamed as a society, that is typically when you see women make changes. For example, and I don't know, you guys have to see this on the show. You just hear women repeat back the same things that they've heard like in the media. I've heard about Kim Kardashian getting married so many, really, I think the only way to swing it back is the culture and through social shame, but I don't really see that happening. So
yeah, I don't know.
No, but that's my point. So when you guys ask me, you're like, well, what would you tell a 22-year-old chick? It's like, well, I can give them this advice, but I'm not stupid. Like, I know the culture.
Got it.
Right,
you know
but
what
it's
I mean?
good to
like,
give also input.
But I don't know, like if you had a daughter, like what are you gonna tell them? It's better to have multiple partners or 0 partners or like 1 partner for life.
I mean, Adam knows where I stand. I say, be a virgin.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just me, but it just, the reason also why is because to me, it's like you can't handle a level of discipline and you can't handle a level of like keeping something that's private, you know, like being able to be tempted with something like that. I think that's a level of discipline that's very hard for people to have. So you value it.
Yeah.
And so for me, I'm not like gonna argue like go sleep around because that's not what I promote.
Well, and I know chicks that have done it. Like I genuinely know chicks that have that have waited till they were married. I know a couple.
You know, like one.
No, I know. I can think of 3 off the top of my head. I could probably think of more.
Okay, that's the 3%.
Not many. No, it's rare. It's totally rare.
But let me ask you.
But when I look at their outcomes for life, I'm like, well, like they're probably the happiest married people I know, like under the age of 40.
There are stats that show that the less body count you have,
for sure,
the longer the marriage lasts. It's just, again, very far-fetched in society. What do you think about the girls, we've had this on the show a bunch of times, who are born-again virgins? Would you ever consider yourself a born-again virgin, or are you living in reality?
I'm going to start saying that on these shows, I swear to God. No, I don't think you can re-become a virgin. I don't know why they say that.
Okay, yeah, I ask that all the time.
Yeah,
they're like, I'm a virgin now. It's like, really? How does that work?
Yeah, I mean, I think those chicks, you're going to kind of have a hard time selling a guy on that. Like, yeah, they got it for free, but you, sir, need to marry me first.
Or they're practicing abstinence now.
I mean, you might get a taker. I just think that's a hard sell.
But you also talked about the social shame. You got to shame them into agreeing.
Well, I think we could start by not rewarding it. I think that's step 1. Maybe no money, no OnlyFans. Maybe the guys come in, stop marrying the Kim Kardashians, stop giving these women commitment, neon. You know, men used to like shame other simps. You know, Dylan Dennis is really doing a service to the men throughout this country.
But you know, it's interesting because you talk about the free markets and capitalism. I would say the onus is on the men, the simps, the guys who are paying these women. Because if guys stop paying the OnlyFans and the sex workers and the strippers, what have you, then they would stop doing it. But there's a major market for that, so they keep doing it. So at what level does the men have accountability for rewarding these women?
Do you have the same energy for drug dealers?
Do I have the same energy for drug dealers?
Yeah, so if a guy deals drugs, is it the crack addict's fault? Or is it the drug dealer's fault?
I think addiction is a lot different.
Why do we
being addicted to drugs than being like, I just want to see some ass.
Why do we have empathy for drug addiction but not sex addiction? You know, there are studies that say that sex is a need for men. So when you have 1 out of 3 men that are either virgins or haven't had sex in the past year, it's like it's on the internet. They're going to go somewhere. Now, I don't believe in porn. If this was Pearl's world, I would just ban it all. I would just be like, that's banned, that's banned. But it's interesting how when women make a poor decision, we find a way to blame it on the men. But when men make a poor decision, we blame it on them.
Whoa. If you like that one, click right here to watch the full SOSCAST. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel.